This week on Pay Dirt, we're at Realtree Farms. I got a little old spot down in here that you can't get any equipment in. I mean, it's a tight little area getting down there, but it is a little old small opening in there. I just got in some backwoods attraction, a shady plot seed, and it's really designed for this area that we're going into, so I'm looking forward to seeing the results out of this. Alright, this is it here. As you can see, it's a little grown up, but it is a good little old opening in here. And I think it'll do real well, because I mean, even as secluded as it is, we have got a hole in the top right here through these trees. It's going to let some sunlight in here. But I mean, you know, the majority of the day it's going to be shady. So, but I think this sucker will do pretty good in here. The first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get this backpack sprayer here, and I'm going to go in here and spray all this. I got to get all this vegetation sprayed so it'll die. I'm using glyphosate, which is a vegetation killer. You can use any, there's a variety of names for it, but any vegetation killer. You don't want something that'll sterilize your soil, but just a vegetation killer. And you can pick this stuff up at Rural King anywhere. I'm fixing to make rows in here. I'm gonna walk to the other end, and I'm gonna turn around, and I can cover probably about, I'm gonna say 7 to 8 feet at a width. So what I'll do is I'll walk to the other end, make a turn, and come down, jump over somewhere around 8 feet, and come back down and just crisscross this little old plot while I'm doing it. If y'all are in the South, you know what we got here. You have to really hit these sweet gums hard, because they're pretty tough, but this stuff will get it. This little old small place, I couldn't get in here with my tractor, so the idea behind this is I'm coming in here and spraying it, and all this vegetation, this grass and little old briars and stuff, all this stuff is going to die with me spraying it. When I get through here, I'm going to let it dry, and then I'm going to spread my seed. It'll lay down on top of my seed bed, and it actually holds moisture in. It's just like if you were spreading hay out on a freshly seeded yard, you know. You can put that hay down, and it'll hold the moisture in. On this mix I'm using that, it's 41% glyphosate in this mix I'm using, and I'm using it 2 ounces to the gallon. And that's a plenty heavy enough mix to kill this vegetation out here. These bigger weeds and bush out here will be a little bit tougher than this grass to kill. You get back here in these secluded areas where these deer are really not harassed at all. I mean, I think that's the key to it, and that's why I wanted to put this thing in here. All right, we got her knocked out right there with the spraying part. You gotta let it dry though, you know, before you put that seed out. Hot as it is this morning, I mean, we started early, but you know, it's late August, so it's hot. So we're gonna give it about 20 or 30 minutes and let it dry. While we're letting this dry, we're gonna check in with Travis Hamill, and he's gonna give us a Realtree Land Pro tip.
Today on Pay Dirt, we're going to talk about selling your property at auction. Whether you have a large tract or a little farmette, selling your property at auction can really maximize your dollars, your time, and also put you on an even playing field with all buyers that are out there. You set the terms, the time, when the property is going to sell, and it also freezes the market. By freezing the market, I mean all the other properties that are around you that might be for sale or coming up for sale will not be listed or be looked at by other buyers until this property is sold and at auction. And other things that benefit a real estate auction are you control the time period, you control the terms, and sellers of all types use real estate auctions, whether it's big corporate farms looking to turn over some dollars to purchase some other product. The auction method of marketing gives you a timely process to maximize your dollars throughout the process of an auction.
We sprayed and it's dried, so now we're fixing to put this seed down. Like we talked about, we got 3 different blends here from Backwoods. One of them is you got your Lazy Acre, you got your Timber, and you got your Shady Patch. I think I'm gonna go with the Shady Patch on this little old plot here because I ain't got but a couple of hours a day sunlight in here. I feel like when it's straight overhead, because the trees are so tall. So I got ryegrass, white clover, forage rape, and forage brassica in here. So that's going to be a good combination for this real shady area here, which they named it right, Shady Patch. Our Timber and our Lazy Acre, they're both no-till formulas too. They're great for little old small areas. I feel like with this smaller seed and all, as little sunlight as I got in here, this Shady Patch will do the trick, but I'm going to use this on some of the other stuff if I find some little bit bigger stuff that's got a little more openings in it for that sunlight to get in. All right, we're going to put out this Shady Patch in this little old hand spreader here, which you can get at any Rural King. And I like the hard body one rather than the bag myself, just because this little hard container right here, it stays with you, and you can. I like wrap my arm around it while I'm using it. It just seems a little more stable than that bag kind of flopping around with you. But I mean, you can use anything. That's just what I like. You've got different size openings. Obviously, we got some pretty small seed in there. And so what you do is you move this knob right here and this adjusts your opening. So once you lock it in, flap, you open it, and it's just gonna open to that width down there, and that'll keep you from throwing out too much seed at one time. All right, it's time to spread. One thing I always do when I'm spreading with this, or even if I'm using a spreader on a tractor, I always err on the narrower gap size as far as putting out less seed than more seed. Because I always figured, you can go back over something twice than shooting out all your seed, and you get halfway done and you look around and say, uh-oh, I ain't got enough seed. So there it goes. I'm gonna say I'm putting out probably about a 8-foot wide path with this, so it ain't gonna take much to cover it like this.
Welcome to the Causey Camp. This almost 700-acre tract located in southeast Wilkinson County is truly a special place. Having almost $2,000 an acre in freshly cruised timber, this tract is truly one of a kind. Having 2 live creeks, 2 large ponds, and a couple other small ponds, this place has a lot of campsites. The food plots are there, the box stands are there, there's plenty of big bucks, the place has been managed for years, and the place is loaded with turkeys. The Causey Camp sits right in the middle of 20,000 acres that is currently managed or there's very limited hunting. So if you're looking for a great place in southwest Mississippi and Wilkinson County, the Causey Camp is your tract. Give me, Slave Priest, the Hunting Land Man, a call today to see this awesome tract.
All right, we got that one knocked out. I mean, you know, it's not really that hard, and the thing about it is we're in middle Georgia here, but this applies to the southeast really, because a lot of my buddies are in hunting clubs, and they got timber leases, and they got little old dock and loading areas that they're able to plant, and may not have the equipment to do it with, or may not be able to get to it. But I mean, using a method like this, you can go in there and plant them little loading areas by hand and get you a good little food plot going. All right, we got this one knocked out. I feel good about this little low spot right here. I think it's going to produce for us. But I got one more spot over here I want to try to check, and we might be able to get another plot in. I got a little bit more opening over there, so I might try the old lazy acre over there on that one.